Test 1 2. Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Tazz, and you are listening to or watching the Intro Podcast. I appreciate you guys so much for being on the show today, coming to listen to us, or again, like I say, watch us. I know y'all thinking like I look different. It's not that I look different. It's just I have somebody new in the studio with me on today. What's up, co-host? Let everybody know who you are.
What's going on, family? What's happening? It's your boy Willie Beamen back in the building once again, man. In the building with my boy Troy and Tazz, Ivo.
All that.
All of that, man.
I have a whole bunch of names. As long as y'all don't cuss me out, I'm good. So, before we get into the show, man, who are you? Where you from? What's going on?
Yeah, man. Born and raised from Fort Worth, Texas, Funky Town, man. Y'all know what it is. It's my city, man. It's where I grew up, man, on the south side of Fort Worth. Yeah, man, just living life, taking life one day at a time, man, and enjoying the fruits of my labor, fam.
Yeah, man. So you are a family man. How does it feel to be a family man?
Feels good, man. That's definitely something that has kept me rooted and grounded. Shout out to my grandmother, Olivia Coleman, who just turned 85 in September. She is my rock. She has been the one who have kept our family together, man, and I'm definitely grateful for her. Shout out to my pops, Willie Perry Strickland III, because there are four of us.
Oh, wow.
I'm the fourth generation. Shout out to my mother, Brenda K. Strickland. Shout out to my sis, Jazz.
Yes.
I'm the oldest of four siblings. Shout out to my little bro, Quentin, and my baby sister, Peaches, who just graduated.
Congratulations.
With her doctorate degree as a physical therapist. So,
I need you in my life because my back hurts. I'll tell you this, the God's honest truth, man. Yesterday was my birthday. I turned 43. But on the previous year, when I turned 42 years old, I literally felt my body say you're 42 because I started hurting in places that I never even knew existed. Have you ever dealt with sciatica?
Oh, my wife has, fam.
Ask your wife, yeah, man. Like when it's literally the night of my 42nd birthday, sciatica was like this.
Wow.
And it's been knocking on my door ever since. So I need your sister in my life ASAP. Of course, we are broadcasting live out of our Fort Worth, Texas studio. Shout out to CCC, Christ Cathedral Church, my church family, definitely my bishop and First Lady, Bishop Sherman C.G. Allen and First Lady Otanya Allen,
yes.
Which is where I met this man right here.
Yes, yes.
Outside of this, I'm learning that this is not your first time in podcasting, but you're doing some work in the Fort Worth area with podcasting. What's that about?
So shout out to my big sis, Rita, man, who's the administrator at the Forest Hill Library, the beautiful city of Forest Hill, man. How would I got started, man? One thing that I'm learning about Rita, man, she's a visionary. Anytime she sees something, she wants to get it out of her mind and put it out. And so she was like, Willie, man, I think we should start, a podcast, take the library to the next level.
Yeah.
Because her quote is, I think is powerful, is that the library is more than a building with books. And
yes.
I really, really see it that way. The community work that we do, not just for the children, just for the adults as well. And so she like, let's kick it off. And so I'm laying in bed one day, fam, and the title came to me, Ordinary Conversation, man, with Extraordinary People.
Wow.
That's the title that came to me. Reader's like, that's it, fam. Let's roll with it. And so we are pushing towards our third guest next week. October is a music theme. So I'm interviewing, sitting down with musicians from R&B to opera to classical to jazz to violin. It's just a multicultural thing. And episode 3 was going to be fire next week.
One thing that I've learned since I've been in podcasting or just in the industry period is the upper level that y'all guys have on me, y'all have access to young people. And I believe that certain things need to be put to the forefront so that young people can see that there's an opportunity to do something. Because, we have interest. I know growing up as a kid in Lake Charles, Louisiana, I had interest to want to do a lot of things, but because I didn't see it.
Facts.
I thought it was so far-fetched.
Yeah.
But you guys are putting podcasts. It's like you're putting podcasts, you're putting radio, and you're putting TV right in front of these young people. How does it feel to, possibly have the next best radio personality or the next best TV host that can possibly come to y'all door in the form of a young person?
Oh man, that's a great question, fam. I just think everything that you said is definitely what we're doing, and really just trying to see where it goes, fam. See, how we can take this to the next level. But we definitely have the culture to bring in the young people, and give them an opportunity to show them that it can be done.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, we're just having an amazing time doing it. My next guest, who is young, I think Ahmad is 27.
Okay.
He came to our mocktails and music. So one thing I want to put out there to people that's listening is that not only do we cater to the young children and all that through our summer reading programs, but we just had an event for the adults, our mocktails and music, where it was poetry blended with live musicians. We had 60 plus people in there. We had food. We had the mocktails going. We had a great time. And so Ahmad, man, who I met at the poetry event earlier this year, out of Dallas, he's R&B. He does it full time, man, and he's a beast. And so I think he believes like 26, 27. And so definitely very, very talented. And he'll be, on the episode next week. But yeah, just really trying to give the young culture, some hope and that they can do it.
Yeah, man, because that's definitely a door that can change somebody's life. Man, let's get into entertainment news. I don't know if I want to believe this or not because he has said this many times before.
Right.
But rapper, I guess comedian because he put his hand in comedy in comedy also. T.I. Says he is retiring from performing. He say, I do not need that money anymore. This comes shortly after, of course, him and his wife just recently won. Let me go down so I can say the exact number because they rich. T.I. and his wife, Tamika Tani Harris, recently won a $71 million lawsuit claiming the toy maker MGA stole the design of the OMG toy dolls from their real-life teen pop group OMG Girls. Now, the group was created by Tiny and featured her daughter Zanique. All these ads, star pullings. So maybe this has something to do with his decision from not needing to do music anymore. I'm sorry, but if I won that much money, I wouldn't do music no more either. But then you have to also keep in mind, he is a legend. He don't even need to do music no more.
Nah, facts. I agree, bro.
How do you feel about T.I. as a music artist, but the stepping away from music?
As a music artist, man, T.I. definitely had his run, man. Shout out to Atlanta, man. Shout out to where he's from. T.I. is definitely one of my favorite rappers, man.
Yes.
His wordplay, his sound, his swag. From You Don't Know Me to Motivation to the Urban Legend album to the T.I. versus Tip album, man. T.I. has a long catalog, so no, he's definitely one of those dudes that I commend. But as far as stepping down from it, I don't know how to feel about it, fam. I don't know, man. I don't know. What you think?
I think he has been grooming his son.
True. Yes.
Because I know one of his sons just out the blue, he's doing, I want to say, country rock.
Yes.
Buddy Red.
Yeah.
I love Buddy Red. And it's I think what surprised me about Buddy Red is the fact that not that he's doing music because he comes from a musical family, but the style of music that he's doing for his age, that kind of, it threw me for a loop because, I felt like if he was going to sing, he would do something like R&B. But he found his comfort level.
True.
And he's living in it and he's doing well in it because he's pretty popular among that genre's industry and that group of listeners. As far as quitting music, I wonder if this is going to be like one of those Jay-Z situations where I'm going to retire, then I'm going to come back a couple years later, but then I'm still going to be featured on everybody else's song at the same time because Jay-Z has retired 11 times.
That's true.
And he always comes back. So whatever it is, whatever you are going to do, T.I., I guess I gotta support you. I mean, you gonna do what you gonna do anyway. I do believe, and Charlamagne the God said it best. There is a special covering that God has placed over T.I.'s life because that man has been through so much.
Yes, definitely been through a lot.
And a lot of the things that he's been through, the normal person would have broke. From going to jail, from all the gun charges and the ups and downs in the music industry, getting into comedy and getting bashed for not being what everybody else thought. I heard one of the shows though, T.I. I'm not gonna. I'm not a fan of T.I. the comedian.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm a fan of that either, fam.
It didn't do nothing for me. I just felt like I felt like he was on stage just talking. I actually attended one show, and I was like, I just feel like you're talking to me. But, I mean, you never know what you're good at or not good at until you actually get out there and try it. So I commend him for at least trying it. And, I mean, 9 out of 10, he'll probably still do it because, hey, he's T.I. The most y'all can tell me is y'all don't like me. But I got $71 million that say whether y'all like me or not, I'm still going to do what I'm going to do.
Yes, sir.
Let's go down a little bit more. I have been waiting to talk about this man for a long time. Growing up in Lake Charles, I have a friend. He's like a brother to me, MJ. We used to be in his room, and we would have a tape recorder. And Diddy had all of these contests, making the band and all this. We would send in tapes, literal cassette tapes of just recording music, and they never chose us. I felt like y'all don't like me. I'm like, and we were like really, really good as opposed to us being in high school. Like everybody knew us or even around town. But recently I called him and I was like, maybe God just didn't want us to be a part of this whole Diddy camp. Because whenever you look at what's going on now in the Diddy world, it's a lot of people who I think were a part of his world that really, really regrets it now.
Facts.
I know that they're trying to get one of the cases that they have on him is racketeer. And through a little research, meaning Google, anybody who had anything to do with anything in these videos are all liable to go to jail.
Yeah.
So if you were the person, Willie, that he was like, Willie, go to Costco and pick up 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lube. As innocent as you were, you were just doing what your boss said do.
That's it, yeah.
And you may not have ever seen any of the activity that was going on, but because you went to Costco, because Costco said we don't have that stuff. So wherever he was getting this stuff from, like, there's a lot of people that's going down that necessarily, I'm not gonna say shouldn't, because if you saw something going on back then and you didn't say anything, you deserve to go through whatever you have to go through.
I agree with that.
But coming from people.com, Sean Diddy Combs' attorney says food's probably the roughest part of the mogul's life. Sean Diddy Combs' trial date is set for May 5th, 2025. He keep on trying to get these release dates. But every judge he goes in front of keep on telling him no, because if I'm not mistaken, whenever they first arrested him, not even first arrested him, but whenever he first caught word of everything that was about to go down, he literally started calling people or had somebody contact people who are going to be subpoenaed. And I wonder what those conversations were like. If you get a phone call, Will, and they want you to talk about me, this is what you got to say.
Yeah.
Don't say nothing else. But so like everybody has been turning him down on the release date. He's gone as far as trying to put up houses. He tried to put up his mom's house. He cut out female visitors to his home and all this other stuff. But the joke is y'all cutting out female visitors. Well, what about the males?
Yes, yeah. Because
if he had all that, 1,000, what you gonna do with 1,000 bottles of baby oil?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, I'm not gonna say that. Y'all don't need to know what I use baby oil for. That's none of y'all business. Let's go to people.com. Attorneys for Sean Diddy Combs say that the music mogul's most difficult adjustment to being behind bars is the food that he is eating. I think the food's probably the roughest part of it, Combs' attorney Mark, whatever your last name is, told reporters outside the federal courthouse in Manhattan after a status conference in the court on Thursday, October 10th, which was my birthday, but y'all didn't send me nothing, but it's all good.
Send your boy something.
Combs' trial date on sex crimes charges was set for May 5th, 2025. Combs is being housed at Brooklyn Metropolitan Detention Center while he awaits trial. On September 20th, people previously reported that his day behind bars started at 6 a.m. with breakfast of cereal, fruit, and a breakfast cake.
Breakfast cake. Oh wow.
I wonder what that look. No, I don't wonder because I've been to Toulouse Derrick, so I know what y'all food tastes like. Because Toulouse Derrick, that they come around with bologna sandwiches, and the bologna is like it's supposed to be like red, but it's almost purple because it's so damn old.
Oh my goodness.
On weekdays, lunch is served at 11 a.m. and dinner is served at 4 p.m. At head count. The lunches are comprised of mostly main course, including hamburgers, baked fish, beef tacos with scrambled eggs and biscuits on the weekend. Ain't none of this stuff according to what he's used to eating. But my question is this. Do you deserve some kind of special treatment on food?
That's the question.
Because, like, nigga, you in jail for all this stuff, but you still want to eat filet mignon.
Yeah, at least you still eating.
That part, you still eating. You could be in a situation where you in the jailhouse to where, like, the food that you are getting, you getting hamburgers, baked fish.
Right.
Like, come to Toulouse Derrick in Dallas, Texas. You ain't getting that. Or come to Fort Worth jail.
Yeah, I've been to Fort Worth jail.
It's not. I would just be happy to get whatever I'm getting. But how do you feel about, it's kind of like, so they protested, well, not protested, but they went before the judge and asked the judge, because of the living arrangements in the jail, they went before the judge and asked the judge if they could move him to another jail so that he could not have such a bad atmosphere.
I don't know how I feel about that, man. I feel like you should be punished based on the things that you've done. I mean, even going back to, we all saw the video that came out with him and, what's the chick name? Cassie.
Yeah.
We seen that. And then maybe a few days later, you want to get back on social media and try to apologize for something that's already public. Like, you gotta hold that, man.
Yeah.
You gotta take ownership of your stuff.
Yeah. And even with the Cassie video, what made me definitely look at him different, because I remember whenever these accusations first came out years ago.
Yeah.
You've been lying all these years.
Yeah.
But it just goes to show what people who have money, they can make something disappear.
I agree. Yeah.
Until it don't disappear no more. So, like, yeah, I definitely think the punishment that he's getting fits the crimes that he's committed. There's another lady. I was listening to the Breakfast Club one yesterday. I forgot her name, but she went to the attorney who handles all the rape cases whenever somebody want to say that somebody was raped by a celebrity, saying that Diddy or his bodyguard or something like that sexually assaulted her. Well, comes out from doing research, they found out that she contacted her ex and told her ex, this is, if you are contacted regarding this is what you say.
Wow.
Make up a story, and then at the end of the story, knowing that I'm going to win the case, this is the deal that we're going to make. Whew. So this is via TMZ. They actually have the document of the text messages between her and her ex, basically coming up with a falsified story that Diddy did something to her. Now, in a situation like that, you would think, okay, I'm going to sue you. It's going to cost me more to sue you than I'm going to get from you.
Exactly.
So I just let it go. But, like, whenever you put a number out on the internet, let's just say the number was 1-800 Diddy rape me. If Diddy has done something to you, call this number. I think they say they had like 3,500 calls.
Woo, my goodness.
Imagine how many of these people have never seen Diddy a day in their life. How do you comb through 3,500 phone calls to actually get the ones that's actually real?
Yeah.
That actually went through something. I couldn't. That phone number was the worst thing ever because you open up the door for practically anybody to say anything.
Anything, yeah.
And the bad part is, what if someone were actually real? But because there's so many, just fall in the cracks.
Yeah, I agree.
And they never get justice.
Whew.
But yeah, Diddy wore filet mignon and everything. I'm not here for it, Diddy. During his court appearance, Combs was wearing yada, yada, yada. He walked, Combs' mother flew in from Florida. She, of course, just like every mother is supposed to do, she's standing by her son.
Of course.
She said in an interview recently, whenever she saw the Diddy Cassie video, she was like, I know my son isn't perfect, but some of the things that he is being charged on, that's just not my son. Ma'am, you don't know what your son is. Because you didn't raise your son to think that he would be kicking and dragging Cassie down the hall, and he did that. So, I don't know. How do you feel about the Diddy situation overall?
Overall, bro, I just feel like, you got to take responsibility. You got to take accountability, man, for your actions. All these years, these things you've been doing. And we just feel like just because people are rich and wealthy and have all this money, they can just get away with things and do what they want to do, say what they want to say just because they is in this spotlight or a celebrity. Like, nah, bro, at the end of the day, you need to be punished for the things that you've done, man. And so, yeah, I don't know how much time he going to get, but hey
he going to get some.
He going to get some.
Now, one thing that I recently learned, and I've been preaching this for a very long time, whenever people have these platforms and because they see a post on social media or they hear somebody in the neighborhood talking about something, they automatically make it law. So there's this lady, she's pretty popular in the hip-hop industry. She's been around for a while. Her name is Jaguar. I think she actually lives in Dallas.
Yeah, I've been seeing her a lot. Yeah.
So she was on the Piers Morgan show, which is a major platform. And they, of course, were asking her about Diddy because I guess they brought her on the show because on her social media, she had been, making a lot of accusations about what's going on and what she know and who's in videos and all this other stuff. Well, she got on Piers Morgan and she poked the wrong bears. She poked Beyonce and Jay-Z. And I quote, they are some nasty people. Well, this is the first time I've actually heard Jay-Z and Beyonce or seen them defend their name.
Wow.
Piers Morgan had to come back on his show, I guess the next day, to announce that we have to retract the interview with Jaguar because Jay-Z and Beyonce's attorneys basically was like, cease and desist, so we're going to sue your ass.
Woo.
Because the accusations are 100% false.
Wow.
So I tell people every day, whenever we see something on social media, we shouldn't be all about wanting somebody to just click a like or somebody to follow us because we hold, whether it's a celebrity or your next door neighbor, we hold their life sometime in our hands with what we say about them or with what we share on social media. And whether it's true or not, their attorney said that is not, and because she was on a platform as big as Piers Morgan show, they had to drop back because if the attorney says it's not true, it's not true, and you don't have proof. Like you can say all day, I know that they're on the videotape. I know that they're at these parties and doing whatever. That's just like whenever everybody was going up after Bishop Jakes.
Yeah, I remember that.
I told people, I was like, y'all better watch it because y'all going to get sued. But then I thought about it. Y'all not going to get sued because y'all don't have nothing to lose. Like, these celebrities are not going to sue Everyday Joe.
True.
Because Everyday Joe still living with his mom in the bedroom.
Yeah.
So it's just and I've recognized that once we repost stories that come out either true or false against what we repost, I've never seen anybody with the credibility to come back and say I posted a story that wasn't true.
Yeah, yeah.
I said something that wasn't true.
Yeah. And even going back to this, man, I'm really, really big on building healthy, long-lasting relationships. And so I even watched an interview a while back with Mace, and he was talking about how him and Diddy, kind of fell out because when they were growing up in that bad boy era,
Yeah.
Mace was taking off. He can rap. He's well gifted. And in between, or behind the scenes, he was saying that, Diddy was, taking a lot of money from him, not allowing him to excel, in his craft. And so, yeah, man, Diddy just gotta get what's coming, man.
It's a lot, and it's a lot to unpack because I know in interviews over the years, I know Usher done an interview years ago, and he was like, there's some things when I was under Diddy's watch care, there's some things I should have never seen. Justin Bieber, whenever you look at interviews or you look at interactions that he had with Justin Bieber, and then you look at what Justin Bieber is now, like there's a lot of things that we see now. And I'm not saying that anything happened between them, but whenever you're put in a position with somebody with a lot of power, they'll use that power to convince you to either do or say things that you normally wouldn't do. But because you don't want to lose that person's influence,
that's good.
You go along with it.
You go along with it. That's good.
And for Usher to say there's some things I should have never seen or some things I should have never experienced, it make you wonder, what have you seen? And is any of these things going to be called to the carpet with this whole case with Diddy? But, I mean, it remains to be seen.
Yeah.
Whew. What's next? Okay, I want to do this, and then we're going to go into the deep dive. Prayers still go out to everybody in Florida.
Yes.
They are dealing with back-to-back hurricanes and tornadoes, and I want to make sure that you all know whenever you all hear, I know we do have some listeners in Tampa. I appreciate you guys for being a part of our listening audience, and those who are going to grow with us. We send our prayers to you.
Yes.
I've never had to experience it to the depth that you guys are. But I know here in Texas a couple months ago, we experienced something. Were you around whenever we had that tornado and it knocked out all our power?
Yeah, I remember that. I was close to it because I think it hit a place somewhere in Grapevine. I live in Bedford. So I think it destroyed one of the supermarkets over there.
So it's like what they're going through is like 20 times what we even experienced.
Yeah.
So prayers and things go out to y'all. Now, what I don't like, Ron DeSantis, and I have to call your name out because the media is already doing it anyway. VP Harris had been trying to contact him, whether it was to offer aid or just offer words of comfort or see if there was anything that she can do, yada, yada, yada. But DeSantis was like completely ignoring her. And what happened was he felt like she was politicizing the fact that she cared about the people. But the thing is this, though, like your people are dying. Imagine the number of people who didn't have the wherewithal to actually pick up and leave before the flood hit.
Yes, yep.
These people need assistance now, and instead of you taking every bit of assistance that you can get, you're not accepting calls, and you're making it political, while your constituents are just basically saying we need help. You still have over 1 million people with no power, and if I'm not mistaken, I was listening to the radio today, and they were like, it's starting to get hot now. Imagine you going for another 2 or 3 weeks, and it just gets hotter and hotter, and you have no power. You have no food. And the person that you elected to help you in situations like this say, I'm not going to talk to XYZ because I think they're politicizing. No, they're just doing their job. She is still the VP.
Wow.
So there is certain things that she still have to do. But to me, it's like if it's not Trump calling him, I don't care because I'm going to do what I can to make all those situations bad because I don't want people to see the fact that VP Harris is actually trying to do something good. I could be wrong, but that's how I feel. Let's see. Let's go down. Condolences. I'm a big Whitney Houston fan.
I am too.
I will always.
I watched the movie.
Yes, I'm a huge Whitney Houston fan from a kid. I was in elementary school singing her song in talent shows and didn't have a clue what I was singing about. I had no idea. But rest in peace to her mother, Sissy Houston. Mm-hmm. She recently passed at the age of 91 years old. I want to live to be 91.
Yes, Lord.
Imagine the stories that she could share, that she shared with her grandkids over the years, from the slavery and just lessons learned along the way.
Yeah.
91 years old.
Yeah, long life.
She not only do we know her by just being Whitney Houston's mother, but she was a background singer. She was a background singer for Elvis Presley.
That's what I seen. Yeah, that's dope, bro. That's amazing.
Because I honestly didn't think that Elvis was down with black folk like that.
I didn't either.
Because that was all I ever heard about Elvis Presley. Really, is that he didn't even like black people. Mm. But to know that she did that, I actually that's a good thing. But to the entire family. But now you have to think about it. Sissy Houston's gone. Whitney Houston is gone.
Yes.
And the daughter is gone.
That's heavy.
Like that's all the generations at one time. But condolences. I will say that does make me encourage people to talk to your family.
Yeah.
I don't care what the mishap was that made y'all not talk. This is definitely a time where you want to talk to your brother, you want to talk to your sister, kids, you want to talk to your parents, because you never know what can happen within the next 24 hours. Shit, you never know what can happen within the next 5 minutes.
True.
And you don't want to be the person at the funeral crying, trying to yank them out the casket, saying, "Take me with you. I'm gonna push your ass in there." That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna push you in. You want to go that bad, but because you have guilt in your heart because you never got an opportunity to get it right. So yes, talk to your family.
Yeah, I'm definitely big on that, man. Mentioning my grandmother who just turned 85.
Yeah.
Last month, man. I'm constantly calling her, going over there and checking on her. She's been in that same house since I was a kid. My mother, who lives right down the street, make sure she's all right. My cousins, we're making sure she's good. And, my grandmother, man, she's full of wisdom. Like I mentioned earlier, man, she's a rock of our family. And one thing she always says, man, I thank God that I'm on top of the ground and the ground ain't on top of me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah, man, like you said, man, those who listening and watching, man, talk to your family, love on your family, man, have those deep conversations with them. You just never know what people are going through, man, and make them want to, take their own life or whatever they may be wrestling with. So, yeah.
I think one thing that you said that resonates with me, you say she's been living in the same house for how long?
Man, since I was a kid, but probably even longer than that, since my parents were kids, man, on the south side of Fort, over Riverside and East Jessamine Street, forever. Yeah.
That's how my family was in Mississippi. Like, I remember being 6 and 7 years old, and like, we would all the cousins, whenever we would go out to visit, we all just get on the floor in the living room.
Facts. Yeah,
and just we wild out, and then we all just fall asleep. And see, at that time, they didn't have cable.
True.
And the little antenna that was garbage, because it was so far out in Mississippi that the antenna would not catch anything.
Oh, wow.
So imagine 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, every time you go to grandma's house, if you don't bring your own videotapes, we watch Beethoven. So I think I know everything about that dog from beginning to end, because I grew up on that. But those were the days that I actually missed that house on the hill, and also missed the food. The food was some kind of delicious.
Yes.
My grandmother had, when I say like football field size gardens, we had hogs, we had Like, we literally grew and killed everything we ate. Well, they grew and killed everything that we ate.
Wow.
That was wonderful food. But at this time, I'm going to let him. This is his passion. I don't know nothing about sports, and y'all know that I don't. So I'm going to ask a question, and then after I ask the question, I'm going to just let him have at it. I asked you earlier, and I want to know how you feel about Bronny and LeBron playing on the same team.
Oh, Lord.
Let's go.
So, my take on this, man, shout out to LeBron. Shout out to that family, man. LeBron is my favorite player. I respect him, man. I honor him for what he does on the court and off the court. But if I can keep it 100, man, conversations I've had with other people who are in sports, I just think Bronny went out too soon. And I just think, as players being in this sport, you want to give yourself time to grow, give yourself time to develop.
Yeah.
At least stay there, I would say, 2 to 3 years, man. But I just think Bronny went out too soon, especially after the cardiac arrest, health issue that he had. And now he's rushing straight to the league. And I talked to you about this is because, LeBron James is his father. And LeBron can pull strings. He can make calls. He can make moves. And so Bronny feel like, well, it's my pop, so I have the ability to get in the league early. And so I just feel like, from a fan, man, I just feel like he went out too soon. Yeah. Give yourself time to grow. Work on your craft. Learn the ins and outs of the game, work on your skill set, work on your weaknesses. Yeah. So then when you get to the league, man, you ready. Because there's dudes in the league that's stronger than you. Yeah. That's bigger than you. That's faster than you. I mean, Bronny is only, I believe, is maybe 6'1", 6'2". I believe he's like probably at 195, 200. So, yeah, man, NBA ain't no joke, man. Yeah. And so for LeBron to be able to do it as long as he has, he's, I believe, 6'8", 260. But yeah, I just think you went out too soon, fam.
Do you think that is there a league under, like, playing with the majors that you could
before you get to the NBA? Yeah. Yeah, that's the G League. Yeah.
Why do you think he didn't? What did he ever play in that league, or did he like literally just skip it?
No, that's a great question. He did play a few games in the G League. The new coach. What's the new coach name? Can't think of his name right now to come to me. But, yeah, he played a few games in the G League.
How was he there?
Okay. Yeah, his numbers are okay. I think he still has a lot of development, a lot of growth to do. And what I think is he should stay in the G League a little longer before trying to.
That was going to be my question, because that's a good starting point to learn what your strength and weakness is.
Facts.
Well, if I had a father like LeBron, though, I think it's nepotism at its best.
Yeah.
It's nepotism at its best. Yeah. I wish you all the luck. I mean, if I go to a game, I'm not going to be like hollering because I don't know what to holler for. But I'll know you when you get on the court.
Yeah, JJ Redick. There it is, y'all. It came to me.
That's the coach?
Yeah, that's a new coach. Yeah, okay. JJ Redick.
Who's the coach that just got fired?
From the Lakers?
I think so.
Black dude? Bald head?
He's I was listening to this earlier.
From the coach the Lakers just had was Darvin Ham, the black dude that they just fired.
That's the coach that just got fired recently. I think he's
what coach?
I can't even think what it is. Anywho, highway. That's the sports. We're going to have sports from now on, and y'all know it's not going to come from me.
I love sports. Man.
He loves sports, so we're going to get him sports. Before we go into the deep dive, man, what you think so far?
Man, this has been great, bro. I appreciate you, having me on, man. I definitely love to hit on topics. Yeah. Hit on the good stuff and give our perspective on it, man. It's been fun, my boy.
I need y'all to see him on Sundays, though. This nigga be dressed to the T. I'm going shopping in his closet today. He just don't know it yet.
It's funny. I love fashion, man.
Yes, he does. And we're going to do a photo shoot. I'm going to let y'all see all of his fashion. The boy is bad. Let's go into the deep dive. I want to talk about why black men, why is it so hard for us to sit down for counseling?
Oh, my goodness. Why you had to hit me with that question? That's heavy.
Because it's
heavy.
We've always been taught, walk it off whenever we hurt ourselves. Mm-hmm. We've always been taught, real men don't cry. Mm-hmm. Just get over it pretty much. Why do you think that it's so?
how do I want to angle this? I guess I can give multiple reasons. Number one, a lot of times, a lot of us are raised in single parent homes where there is no father figure, including myself. I put myself in a situation. I was raised in a single parent home. My mother did everything, bought everything, cooked everything. Me and my sister under me. My father was there, but he wasn't there, if that makes sense. He was there physically at times, but he wasn't there emotionally. He wasn't there to teach me how to treat a woman, how to love a woman. He wasn't there to teach me how to be a man, what women should look for when it comes to him. All these different things. He never taught me that. And so growing up, I had to learn a lot of stuff on my own. And then getting married young, there's a lot of stuff that I had bottled up that got exposed. Yeah. You know, being married, you know, shout out to my wife Tamika, man, and she's definitely been, you know, that rock. And so number one, I just think a lot of us who grew up in single parent homes didn't see that model of a healthy marriage or a healthy father figure in their home. They look to the streets for it. They look to their friends for it. They look to the dope dealer for it. They look to the gang, whatever it is, and think that it's cool. But when we get older, we were wrestling with all these different emotions. We don't know how to manage it. Number two, this is a phrase or analogy that I always use is, we're always taught to be Superman, but we're never taught to be Clark Kent. Yeah. We're never taught to be human, fam. Yeah. We're never taught to show our emotions. We're never taught to cry. We're never taught to talk these things out. We feel like just bottling these things in is okay, but long down the road, it's going to destroy you. Yeah. And that's one thing that I'm learning, fam, is to get those things out. You know, my wife would tell you that I've cried in front of her numerous of times. Yeah. Trying to get things out. When I lost my grandfather, when I lost one of my close friends, when I lost my auntie, just multiple people throughout these years, man, and giving myself, you know, those moments to cry. But no, my take on the real man cry, man.
So for you, all right, so y'all have kids yet?
No kids.
Okay, whenever kids come along, how do you base being a successful father when you didn't necessarily have that in your home? Because it's like, if I didn't see a successful father, I have to create what that looked like. Yes. If I grew up in a home where I had a mom and a father, but I didn't see love, as a man, I have to try to create how to love the person that I'm with based off of now, because I didn't grow up with it.
Wow, that's a heavy question. What would I say? Well, me, being a believer, man. Yeah. Being a follower of Christ. That's where it started for me. As I got older, man, and walking this walk and giving my life, you know, to the Lord, learning biblical principles, learning how to love, learning that model from, you know, Jesus himself. And I took those principles and those habits and tried to implement them in my own life to see, okay, what would Jesus do in this situation? What does love look like to him? What does love look like? And him managing all these different people who don't look like him, who don't move like him. Yeah. And so I just tried to carry those same principles, fam, and implement those in all my various, you know, relationships, you know. So that's where I started.
Have you ever, because I know me, I've never necessarily sat down with a professional counselor.
I haven't either.
But I've sat down with, I sit down weekly with Bishop Allen. And have those conversations, or even like the Bible study we just had Monday.
Yes, it was fire.
To where you can get that advice or that leadership from people who have been there, who have experienced certain things. How was it your first time whenever you had to go and sit down and talk to somebody about being a husband?
Oh, man, it was tough. It was hard. Really, really uncomfortable. Because like you mentioned earlier, most of us as black men, we're not taught to be vulnerable. You know, and one thing that I learned from, I follow Tim Ross's podcast.
Love it.
The Basement. And he always says that our vulnerability is a superpower. Yeah. And so that's one thing that I'm learning now. And so that first conversation, shout out to one of my spiritual leaders, rest in heaven, Pastor Paul Gardner. That was probably the first man.
I love Pastor Gardner.
Filling Station
Yes,
Christian.
Filling Station.
Yeah. Uncle Alicia, shout out to them, man. Rest in heaven. Yeah, that was probably the first guy that I had the ability to actually sit down with and have real raw conversations with, man, and to pour those things out. And it definitely broke my heart, man, when he had passed. And then not only that, his wife passed in last year because I went to both funerals. And so, yeah, shout out to Pastor Paul Gardner, man, who was the first guy that helped me get through my stuff.
Yeah, I think it's important for I'm not going to say people, I'm going to say this in general. I think it's important for black men to have somebody that they can go to and know it's a safe space.
Yes, yeah, I agree with that.
Like, I can sit down with Bishop Sherman, Dad. I can sit down with him and have a conversation about the most vulnerable part of me.
Whew.
And although his advice is going to be direct,
yes,
he's not going to cut corners.
No, he's not.
But whenever I get up, I'm a better person.
Yeah.
Just like whenever I ask the question in Bible study, and like he like, first of all, whenever I listen to him talk, sometimes I'll be like, you use all these big words. I feel like I need a dictionary sometime when I'm listening to Dad talk. But once I discover that I can sit down and talk to somebody and leave and feel like a better person,
man,
it made me want to do it more, to where if I would have had this earlier in life, if I would have had a Bishop Sherman Allen, if I would have had a co-pastor Otanya Allen, if I would have had them earlier in my life, I would be so much further.
yes. Yeah.
But because all I had was suck it up.
Yep.
All I had was get over it.
Yep.
All I had was, we're just going to pray about it. Because like for me, I have this thing against people who are quick whenever you go to them and you tell them that this is a problem that I'm having, or this is just a struggle that I'm having. Instead of them actually sitting down talking with you, their first response is, we're going to pray about it, we're just going to leave it to God. I need something right now.
Yeah, I agree.
And I have never gotten that from mom and dad. I've always gotten, like I say, it might not be the correction I want, but it's the correction that I need.
That you need.
So I would encourage people, black men, sit down and talk with somebody. Again, black men, go to the hospital.
Man.
Get your checkups.
Get your checkups.
Because you never know what your body is going through. I remember whenever I started going through this Bell's palsy, I was at work one morning when I was working for the Hilton. God, I missed that job. Them discounts. Anywhere I went, my hotel room was $50, even at the resorts.
My God.
Hallelujah. But I got off work one day, and I thought I had an allergic reaction because my face was feeling kind of weird. The man in me said, go home, take a Benadryl, go to bed, wake up, you be all right.
Right.
So I listened to the man in me until I woke up and my face felt like nothing, like dry, like candle wax, just drooping. I went to the hospital. They say, sir, did you have a stroke? I was like, I don't know. I'm here. You tell me. What ended up being Bell's palsy. And there are so many other situations where if I wouldn't have listened to my body, I probably wouldn't be here today. But for black men, sometimes it literally takes us losing a limb to want to go to a hospital to see what's going on with us. And with the death rate and how, if you can't afford certain health care, you just die.
Yeah.
And a lot of us can't afford the health care. I think we definitely need to, check up on it. We all can't have muscles and stuff like this. I'm not.
This post surgery weight, man. I gained. For those listening, I had a foot surgery last April because I'm super flat footed.
Okay.
And my foot was swelling really bad when working in warehouse and machinery. I'm like, God, what's going on? So, like you mentioned, instead of the man in me, I had to listen to the spirit.
Yep.
Take your butt to the doctor, man. Listen to your wife and see what's going on. So we found out that I was having some issues So she was like, yeah, let's go and get this surgery done. Because the doctor said if I don't,
Yeah.
I'm going to have arthritis for the rest of my life.
Out.
And I said, oh, no, I ain't dealing with that. And so fast forward, going through that surgery, man, definitely rough. It was definitely tough, fam. I ain't even going to lie. I had some dark times, had some lonely times, felt, insecurities and all these different things. I feel like, Lord, it's almost like instead of grieving the loss of a loved one, I was grieving the loss of life.
Ouch.
If that makes sense.
Yes.
Like, Lord, I want to be able to move like how I used to move prior to this surgery. I want to be able to get my mobility back. I want to be flexible again. I want to get back to dance ministry. All these different emotions that's bottled up on the inside. And so I'm grateful, man, for my community of people. I'm grateful, man, for my wife. I'm grateful, man, for, my sisters and brothers in Christ from Christ Cathedral and my New Life family, man, who helped me get through that season, man. But
I got to talk about something that you just mentioned, and then we gonna end. I want to talk about this dancing.
Oh yeah, man.
How long you been doing this?
Man, I've been.
And when do we get to see it?
Yeah, I've been. So to break it up into two parts, man, I feel like I'm gifted on both sides, whether it be secular or whether it be spiritual. It started in the secular. I was in all the high school talent shows. I was in all the parties. I was that guy, man, because that was just my gift. Sports wasn't for me. I didn't make it, but yeah.
And I would have thought looking at you now, I would have thought totally different.
Yeah, fam. Sports didn't work for me. So I'm like, man, well, what's my purpose? And so discovered the ability to dance, man. From dance choreography, working with choreographers, from doing shows, all these different things, and then transitioning. Shout out to my brothers, Bobby and Brandon. We all went to the same high school, ODY, here in Fort Worth. And so we started a dance group.
That's like a music school, huh?
ODY? Yeah. Music and dance. Yeah, track. A little bit of track in there. And but prior to it being my ministry, we started as a hip-hop group.
Okay.
So we was doing hip-hop choreography, all the popular songs and all that. But the crazy thing is, fam, we wasn't getting no calls. We wasn't getting no shows. We wasn't getting none of that. So we was like, we got to figure something out, bro. This ain't working for us.
Yeah.
So our other brother, Chris, shout out to Chris Winston. He hit us up like, hey, man, my pops is having an event at our church. He wants y'all to do a piece to The Storm Is Over by Kirk Franklin.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, okay, man, let's give it a shot and do it. From that day forward, man, after that piece, man, our ministry just took off. When we were different in our clothing, we were different with our style, with our ability. And so we took our natural ability to dance and formed it in the gift of mom. And so we had a great run. Shout out to my brothers, man. We had a great run. Fast forward, I still have a passion for the craft. So I'll be back in December.
December, we're going to have cameras, y'all.
I'll be back in December here at the Christ Cathedral Church for our dance recital. And so, yeah, I'm excited to come back, man.
I'm excited about that. Get to see. Hey, I'm going to be on the front row. I'm going to have all my cameras and my phone taking pictures.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Man, it has been a great, wonderful show. Thank you for kicking it with your boy today on the Intro Podcast. I'm trying to make him a regular, so we got to pray and seek the face of God.
Seek God.
Nah, he coming back. I'm going to kidnap him if he don't. I'm going to talk to his wife and everybody else, man. Did you enjoy yourself today?
Man, I had a great time, fam. Man, today was great, man. I appreciate it.
That's what's up, man. We appreciate you. Tell the listeners or the viewers where they can find out more information about you.
Man, y'all can find me on TikTok. It's my Willie Beamen. You can find me on IG, which is Willie Beamen. Those are probably the main two platforms that I'm on. And go follow me, man. Got a lot of different content on there from different things that I do. And so, yeah, I'm looking to build with y'all.
That's what's up. And, of course, you can follow me on all social media. I am Trevaine, Trevayne, on as opposed to the podcast. So we've changed up a lot of the podcasts. Instead of looking up the Intro Podcast, you look under Spotlight Podcast Network on Facebook, the Intro Podcast on Instagram, and Spotlight Podcast Network on what's the other one? The one you just said. TikTok. Yeah, that. Yes. We are looking forward to having more people in the studio. We are producing shows. Those of you who are either in the DFW area or even if you're not and you have a concept that you have for a podcast that you want to do, whether it's a longevity or whether it's a specialty podcast, and you're looking for an avenue to get it produced, distributed, and marketed, our information is somewhere down at the bottom of the screen right now. Contact us. We are ready to be that for you. If you are looking for someone to host an event that you have going on anywhere in the U.S., we're just going to book him because he can do all that. That part. In the meantime, in between time, share this show with anybody that you know. Put it on your timeline, text message, email, bird mail. Email us at spotlightmedia.info@gmail.com. I literally forgot to shout out right now in the DFW, we are in the middle of State Fair of Texas.
Yes.
Hallelujah. I cannot wait to go. We have partnered up with them once again. So if you are listening in the DFW and you are interested in going to State Fair this year, we have a couple days left. Go to the website, ilovethespotlight.com, and register for your opportunity to win your pass to the fair. And if we are there at the same time, I need y'all to buy me a funnel cake with chocolate chip ice cream on top of it. And
My
a turkey. Yes, it's the will of God for your life. And I want a turkey leg, but there's like 20-something tickets.
Whew.
Yeah, the fair's not.
Yeah.
Big Tex also brought Lil Tex. So I want to go see Lil Tex also. But that's it for today's show. Again, I want to thank you guys so much for listening and for watching. Again, I want to thank you for being a part of today's show. I'm looking forward to building bigger and better. Once again, tell them about your other podcast platforms.
Yes. Do me a huge favor. Go follow the Forest Hill Library Facebook page. We stream live every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Ordinary conversations, man, with extraordinary people. Basically, I'm just sitting down with people from all walks of life, diversity, and seeing how we can move in the form of literacy and education. So go follow us, man. Forest Hill Public Library. Also, go follow us. Follow our website as well, foresthilllibrary.org.
That's what's up, man. It's your boy Tazz, and this is the Intro Podcast.